Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today's Minitab webinar. Topic is Minitab 20 Control Chart. Okay, I'm Noor Sulawati. I'm the Technical Support Specialist at Visit System. Visit System is an independent local representation for Minitab product and training in Malaysia, Singapore and Batam, Indonesia. Before we get started, if you have questions during presentation, please type them into the question box in your control panel. You may send any time throughout the presentation, but I will address them during Q&A session at the end of webinar. Kindly ensure that you have connected to the audio via your speaker. Please fill out our survey before you exit the tab. This survey will help us to improve the quality of our upcoming webinar. For your information, this webinar will be recorded and therefore it will be set listen-only mode to avoid interpretation to the audio recording. The recording will be accessible anytime later on our website www.visit.com or by subscribing to our YouTube channel Minitab Malaysia and Singapore. Okay, Minitab was developed in 1972, nearly 5 years in the market. We are statistical software where everyone can use, whether you are statistician or non-statistician or data sciences. We also known as easy of use where no coding involved. Minitab provides simple dialog box with less activity, but the output generate fulfill the standard. With the Minitab 20, you are able to use everywhere you go as long as you have internet connectivity, since now available on the cloud version. Okay. In the Minitab itself, we not only have a Minitab statistical software, but we have other software like Suffolk Predictive Modeler, Minitab Connect, Quality Trainer, e-learning courses. We have a Minitab Workspace, and then we have Minitab Engage. But today we focus on the Minitab statistical software. Okay, so this one already done it. Okay, so you able use Minitab as a tool for data-driven decision. For example, today we focus on the control chart or related with the quality side. We not only have a control chart, but we have a measurement system analysis, MSA, not only limit for the GACE R&R, but we have also for the attribute agreement analysis where your data in the text data set, let's say accept, reject. So you able to use the MSA, but have different tools only. Also, we have a capability analysis, we have acceptance sampling, and then we have the tolerance interval. For example, for others, reliability engineering also available in the Minitab statistical software. Also, we have a business analytic, something like you want to know about the relationship between the predictor or your parameter and with your output. And then we not only have a regression inside the modeling statistical. Starting with the Minitab 19, we already have something like classification and regression tree, or we call it the CART. And then we also have the time series analytics, something like if let's say your data set in time order, something like day, hours, and so on. So you can go for the statistical modeling, but just different model, something, for example, for the ARIMA model. And then we have also for the multivariate methods. Okay, something like if let's say you have a multi-dimension data set, so you are able to use Minitab also. And then we have the something like the process validation. Okay, so we have a stages 1, stages 2, and stages 3. So in every stages, they are provide something like tools. So we available, and then we have that kind of the function for the tools. Okay. So our customer not only limited to the manufacturing or for the manufacturing, but we also have the for services. We also have for the financial and they're also available in the academician industry. Okay, as we know, manufacturing is a big sector. It not only involve the electronic part, we have also for the automotive. Also, our customer not only the big company, we also have a company from the SME company also use our flagship product, Minitab Certificate software. Okay, but today we focus on this our agenda is an overview of the Minitab or something like conceptual of control chart itself, and then we go get through for the variable control chart, and then we go through for the attribute control chart. Okay, and then we go for the assistant menu to run the control chart using the assistant menu. Okay, this one is the something like automation, not the fully automation, but it's helpful to you. Okay, whether you are beginner or you are expert one. Okay, I will show after this. Okay, so okay, business use SPC to keep the process stable, consistent, and predictable. And then can we ensure the quality of product and services? I think if let's say you Google out a lot of history, a lot of the advantages of the SPC, if let's say you implement in your company. Okay, so the common tools in the SPC is a control chart, or we call it the heart of the SPC is the one we call it control chart. Okay, control chart are simple but are very powerful tools that help you determine whether our process in control, out of control, or something like the sometimes we say that it's stable and not stable. Okay, so we go what is the control chart actually. See, so this one is the control chart. See a graph, we consider as graph, we consider as visualization and that plot your process data in time order sequence. Okay, in time order sequence. So basic one for the control chart, actually they have a 3 line, which is the first here is we call it upper control limit, and then here is a middle one is we call it center line, and then the lower here is we call it lower control limit. But for your information, all this line is coming from your process data, not this one. This line is not from your specification limit. No, this one is from the process data. This meaning that now you need to collect the data, and then from your data you can build the control chart. Okay, so this one is a upper control limit, this one is a center line, and this one is lower control limit. So this one is from the control chart itself, you can understand the trend over of the variation occurring in the process. So meaning say is something like you need to go through the pattern inside this graph. Okay, the pattern inside the graph. Okay, and then from the control chart itself, you can know or you want to separate, we call it the common cost variation from the special cost variation. I will go after this, what is mean by common cost, what is mean by the special cost. Okay, and then of course is easily interpreting visual analysis of the process stability. But if let's say you're using the Minitab is trigger whether your process in control or out of control by the color code here. If let's say the red color is, we call it is an unusual sources of variation, or we consider that this process is not control or is not stable. Okay, if let's say your blue dot here is consider that the process in control or the process unstable. Okay, so if let's say you are seeing the red color, meaning to say that your process is not stable, your process is out of control. Okay, so we go for the, what is the common cost, what is the special cost. Okay, common cost variation is the nature or expected variation in a process itself. Okay, this one is naturally have in your process. Okay, this one is in consider that in the expected region, which is the default setting in the Minitab. We consider this is the 3 sigma. Okay, this one is a 3 sigma, and then is a where process is expected to perform unless a change occur. This means something like if let's say out from this line, okay, from 3 sigma upper and 3 sigma lower, we consider that this one is a special cause of variation. So special cause variation is unexpected variation. The result come from the unusual occurrence. Okay, so the unexpected variation region area beyond the control limit and the non-random pattern. Okay, so this one is you need to follow this pattern. Okay, not only we consider that only in this control limit is considered the in process, but if let's say you have a non-random pattern, your pattern here is not so okay, so we consider also the process is out of control or not stable. So the variability should be investigated and expert open. So from here, if let's say from here, you need go for further brainstorm. Okay, what happened for this sample? What happened for this time? Okay, so you need to investigate from the control chart itself. Okay. So, for example, something like you do the baking a cake. Okay, so the common cause for the baking cake is something like the oven thermostat allow the temperature to drift up and down slightly. So something like you change the oven temperature or you open the door of the during baking. So we consider that one is a special cause of variation. So really so needed to know what is a common cause, what is a special cause. Once your process have a special cause, we consider that the process is out of control. But if let's say your process involve only the common cause, so we consider that the process in control. Okay. So when to use your control chart? So when you want to demonstrate your process is stable and consistent over the time. Okay, so to verify the process is stable, before you perform a capability analysis, or something like you already have the CPCPK, okay, you say that the process is capable, but you're not sure is it the process in control or not. So make sure before you go for the capability analysis, you need to make sure your process is stable. Okay, and then the assessment, assess the effectiveness of the process change. Maybe you have something, have a different parameter for your machining. So you have the process change it. So you want to see the before and after. Okay, and then maybe you want to communicate the performance of your process during the specific period of the time. Maybe you need to, you want to see maybe we have a quarterly or something like you have a demand on your process itself. So you want to see it. So you can use the control chart to help you. Okay. So which control chart should I shoot? Because a lot of control chart, many type of control chart in the market right now. Okay. But the two things before you choose the right control chart. Okay, the first one, you need to know about the what type of the data set actually. So what's mean by you need to know is continuous or attribute. What's mean by the continuous, meaning that is something like measurement or something like is a number. We have decimal point. So we consider that this one is a continuous, okay, such as is a line, your diameter, your temperature, your weight. So this one is considered that is continuous data set. Okay, if let's say your attribute data set is a count of defect, but in the defective we have a two classifier. Is a defect or defect per unit? So defect is meaning that it's only two options, whether it's only accept or reject. But if let's say defect per unit, you have a list, okay, list of the defect. Okay, consider that we have a 10. So out of 10, how many you have a criteria on that thing. So we have considered that it's a defect per unit. So in your mind now, you need to make sure your process data, you collect your data, is it continuous or attribute? Okay, and then the second part is you need to consider is how many subgroup. Okay, so subgroup is sometimes we call a rational subgroup. So group of unit that created under the same condition of the process is snapshot of the process, meaning that the same missioning. Okay, for example, every 2 hours you collect 5 sample. Every 1 hour you collect 7 sample. So every 8 a.m., 10 a.m., okay, 12 a.m. and 2 p.m. and so on. So every 2 hours you collect 5. So we consider that this one is a 5 subgroup size. Okay, so every time you collect how many or how many observation you see it. So we have a something like decision tree, like this one. Okay, the first one, you consider the data type, is it continuous or variable? Is it continuous or attribute? If let's say continuous, we consider that you're using control chart, variable control chart. If let's say attribute, you're using attribute control chart. Okay, so in the variable control chart, actually you need to know your subgroup size. Okay, so if let's say subgroup size is a more than less than 9, so you consider that is X bar R chart. X bar mean is a mean or average. R mean is a range. Range meaning that is a maximum minus minimum. Okay, if let's say you have a more than 9, so you consider using the X bar X chart. Okay, if let's say only one time you take it the observation, so let's say it's a one batches or something like one, is you can using individual moving range, or we call it IMR. Okay, so in logical here, you have a lot of data set, so you can go for the X bar X chart as is standard deviation. Okay, if let's say you have a less data set, you can go for the range here, is X bar R chart. Okay, so meanwhile, if let's say you have a attribute data set, if a defect, and then your sample is a consistent every 1 hour, maybe, okay, 100, only 1 hour, 100, 100, 100. So you can go for the P chart, or you can go for the NP chart. But if let's say every sample, you have a different sampling, so 15, 60, and so on. So you can go for the P chart only. If let's say you have a defect, so your N is consistent, your sample is consistent, you can go for the C and U chart. Okay, and then if let's say you have a variety or a vary of the sample size, you can go for the U chart. Okay, so this one is the first thing you need to know is a type of the data set and your subgroup size before you choose the right control chart for your process data set. Okay, but not only limited on this control chart. In the Minitab, we also available for the advanced something like multi-variate control chart. Okay, we have the time weight control chart. We also have the ray event control chart. Okay, we also have the ray event control chart. But today we not focus on this one. We just only rely on this X bar chart, and then we rely on the P or NP chart only. Okay, but if let's say you interest more on this one, I will encourage you join our training. Okay, for the statistical quality control, the training not only cover how to run it, but we cover also theory part, and will be conducted by certified trainer. So you, if let's say you interested on this portion, okay, so you may visit our website www.bj.com or contact us to get know further about the training courses for this case. Okay, because today we just only focus on the X bar chart and the P chart only. Okay. Okay. So I will show first. Okay, I will show Minitab first. Okay. So if let's say you open the mini tab, okay, but no worries, if let's say you using the old version is okay to do the control chart, okay. So if let's say you want to see what version you currently use, you go for the help, you go for the about mini tab, and then you see that here is a product version. Okay, product version. Okay, so if let's say you want to see the control chart in mini tab, you can go for the start. Okay, go for the start, go for the control chart. So you see that this one is a subgroup. It's S bar chart, S bar S chart. For individual, which is we have only IMR or ZMR, and then for the attribute chart, we have a P chart, we have a linear P chart and P chart. We have something like this one is a EWMA, QSUM or multivariate chart, and then we have ray chart. Okay, so you able to run the control chart in the start menu. Okay, in the start menu, this one. Okay, control chart, subgroup, X bar chart. Okay. Go back for this one. Okay, so this one is something like you need to know further, because in the control chart, we're looking for the common cost and the special cost. So in the mini tab, actually, we have a task special cost in the mini tab. Okay, in mini tab provide 8 special cost of variation. 8 special cost of variation. Okay, but the default one is only test one. It's a 1 point more than 3 sigma from the center line. Okay, so if let's say you interest on this all 8 run or 8 tests for the special cost in mini tab, so we able to do. I will show after this how to run it, the 8 run test of this one. Okay, but not all these tests are available for all the control chart. Okay, for example, test 1 up to test 8 is available. Most variable control chart is available, but for the attribute chart, we have only test 1 up to test 4 only. So you're not able to see test 5 up to test 8. Okay, so we can see after this how this one. The first test is outside from the 3 sigma. I think almost of us using this kind of the role. Okay, and then the second test is a 6 point in a row, or the increase or all decrease. So in a 1 row. Okay, if let's say only in this, so you need to consider this one 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so in only increase, no, I have a decrease. So increase or decrease. It also is a 9 point in a row at the same side of the center line. Okay, the same side in center line. This one is decrease, increase, increase, decrease. Okay, decrease, but only in one side, not the above one. Only not the up here. Only below here. Okay, so also the 40 point in a row. So you need to calculate the 40 point, alternate up and down. Okay, so this one is, let's say you want to do manually. Okay, no worries, mini tab will do for you. Okay, so same scope for the a 9. Okay, this one a 2 point more than 2 sigma. So this one is a 3 sigma. So we have a 2 sigma here. Okay, and then this one is a 1 sigma, and then it's 8 point in row 1 sigma, so more this one. Okay, but if let's say you are first time for the variable control chart, if not sure, okay, which test is applied in your specific situation, you might try with the using only test 1. Okay, only test 1, test 2, okay, and test 7. Okay, and test 7 only. Okay, when you first time do the establish the control limit. Okay, after you have a control limit established, you should use the known value and do limit, and then maybe test 7 is not longer to needed. Okay, also same for the attribute. If let's say you are the first time use the attribute, we encourage you try test 1 and test 2 only. Okay. because this one is something like, if let's say you need to follow your standard, okay, different company have different standard for this test, okay, but in the default setting Minitab, we just only have the one test, okay, test one here, okay. So I have one case study here. I think I open the Minitab. Let's see. Okay. So in this case study, actually we have the machine. Okay, comes us every hour. We take 5 sample. Okay, we take 5 sample. So meaning to say that now subgroup size is 5. So every 1 hour we take another 5. Okay, every 1 hour we take another 5. Okay, we have a 30 machine here, machine 1, machine 2, machine 3. Okay, so I choose only, okay, something like you want to see or you want to do subgroup. If let's say you just collect the data and then you're not sure this one is a subgroup 1 or subgroup 2. So we available to have something like pattern of the data set. So how to run it? So you can go for the data, okay, go for the calculator, calculate, and then make a pattern data set. Okay, you choose simple set of number. Now we want to build the subgroup. Okay, you want to build the subgroup. Okay, so here is subgroup. Okay, the first value is at 1, or maybe this one is at 20, the last value. So the list of this one is every 5. Okay, good too. So you click OK. Sorry. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Go calculate, make pattern data, simple set of number. So this one is not available for this case. You can use after this for others. Subgroup. Okay, first value is 1. This one is 20. This one is a 5. Okay, so click OK. So now you have your own subgroup here. If let's say you doesn't have subgroup size, you want to create another column. So you can go for the calculator, make a pattern data, you choose simple set of number. Okay, you choose simple set of the number. Okay, so now you already have subgroup, you already have your process data set. So you go for the stat. Okay, sorry, you go for the stat, you go for the control chart. So you choose subgroups. Okay, you choose subgroup, you choose X bar chart. Okay, so we have a 2 option in the Minitab. Actually, we have a all observation for a chart in one column, or we have observation for a subgroup in row of column. So we have 2 options. So for this case, is we consider that all in one column. So you see that is a machine 1, okay, machine 2. So you consider this all observation chart in one column. So something like, if let's something you have something this one, okay, measurement 1, meaning that is meaning to say is a subgroup 1, subgroup 2, subgroup 2, 3. So you need to choose the observation for a subgroup in row of column. Okay, for row of column. So I will suggest to you, since Minitab is worked by column base, so everything is a column base. So every column you consider that as one variables. Easy to see, easy to do analysis one. Okay, so all observation in one column. So for this case, I choose mission 1. So subgroup, I choose subgroup. If let's say you doesn't have any subgroup, you can type it 5. Okay, and then you click OK. Okay, now you get the control chart. Okay, so all this value is coming from your process data set. Okay, all this value. So I will go to stat, go to control chart, you choose subgroup, choose X bar chart. You complete all this dialog box and then you click OK. So you get the control chart. Before I go further for how to explain, how interpret this result, I think I need to go for this kind of the how we calculate, how we get this value. Okay, so every sample here, for example, sample subgroup 1 is coming from the combination of this value from the subgroup 1. So you come from the average of this subgroup 1. Okay, this point is an average from this subgroup 1, this subgroup 2, and so on. So here you see that is X bar bar. We have a two bar here. So meaning to say that is the average. Okay, average of the mean subgroup. So this one is X bar bar. We call it here is X bar bar. So here is a UCL, upper control limit. Here is a lower control limit. So if let's say you have 20, so you have a 20 average of subgroup. This one is average for average of subgroup. Okay, so X bar bar. So same go for the R chart. Okay, so R is a maximum minus minimum. So from the subgroup 1 here, so you need to choose which one is the maximum number, and then minus with the minimum number of this. So you get this value 2.1 for the subgroup 1. So same go for the subgroup 2. So you see that is what center line here is a R bar only, not the not the R bar bar. Okay, this one is R bar. Is a consider that the average of the range of each subgroup here. So this one is how we calculate value in this control chart. Okay, so this, okay, so from here, okay, so from here, how to interpret the result. So we always use, always looking for the R chart first before we go for the X bar chart. Okay, we're looking for the X bar R chart. So we need to say that in this R chart, all the sample or the subgroup in control. Okay, so we go to see the S bar. So in the S bar chart, you see that we have a one red color here. Okay, meaning to say that this sample is outside of control limit. So the process, we conclude that this process is out of control. Okay, so this one is a red color here. So if let's say you want to more, what is the by test one here? So you can go for here. It's a test one, meaning that 1 point more than 3 sigma deviate from the center line. This one is a subgroup 8. It's a fail outside from the lower control limit. Okay, so this one is only by the default setting. If let's say you want to looking all the 8 testing, so you can go back to the dialog box. You can go here. It's the last dialog box. You go for the X bar R option. Okay, X bar R option. So you choose test. Okay, you choose test here. So you see that the default setting here is only 1 point more than K is a 3 here. Okay, you able to customize all this one. It's not only K2, you can retype again with your preference. Okay, so this one is a test 2, test 3, and so on. So if let's say you perform all, so you choose perform all the tests page here, and then you click OK. Okay, and then you click OK. So you see that this sample is a 6 here. So what is the 6 test? It's a 4 out of 5 more than 1 standard deviation for central line. Okay, so this one is a 5. So what I mean by the test 5? 2 out of 3 more than standard deviation from the center line. So all this one is up to you. But in Minitab, we able to run it the test. Okay, you want to perform all the tests, or you want to select which one you want. But Minitab suggests to you, if let's say the first time you use test 1, test 2, and test 7 only. Click OK, and then you click OK. Okay, because this one, the first phase of the control chart, we want to establish our control limit first. After we establish our control limit, we take again the process data set, and then we measure, is it stable or not stable on this one. Okay, So this one, but this one is a depends on your preference. Okay, but the default setting only test one available. Okay, and then we go back to this one. How to interpret? So you need look for the R chart first, and then go to the X bar chart. Okay. So if let's say here is something like features available in the control chart. So you want to omit. So for example, here you already know this one is out of control. So you want to do some brainstorm, that one you want to do improvement. So this one you already solve it. Okay, you want to omit this one. Okay, so we have available of this. Okay, available of these features. So how we get this one? Okay, how? So we go back to the dialog box. Okay, we go back to dialog box, US bar option. Okay, so you can go for the omit. Sorry. Okay, you can go omit here. Omit. You can go for the estimate. Omit the following subgroup when estimate the parameter. So for example, here we have a sample egg. So you click egg and then click OK. Then you click OK. So run again. Egg this one. Okay. So subgroup omitted from the calculation is subgroup egg. They mentioned to you. This one is a without omitted sample size. Subgroups. Okay. This one is a omitted from 8 sample. Since the first time you see that this one is out of control, so you omit on this one. Okay, so you get this one. Fail this one. Okay, so you are able to do this one. If let's say you have already improved the process. Okay, so you can omit from this one. Generate the new one, the new data set here. Okay, you generate the new data set here. Okay, or another way to have a features available in the Mini tab. Consider that is control your control chart. So this one is you already have your own mean. Okay, your own standard deviation. Maybe before this you already have a control chart or you already have the historical data set. So you want to using the same mean or the same standard deviation. So able to use in the Mini tab. So we go back to this one. Okay. Okay, so you go back to the dialog box. Okay, so you go for the X bar option. X bar option. Okay, so dialog box, go for the X bar option. So you go see the mean here. So you need to type your mean, your historical mean. For example, for this case, we have 600. Okay, we have a 600.07. Okay, so here is our standard deviation is 34. Click OK. Okay, for this case, I want to say the test no need. Okay, so click OK and then click OK. Okay, so I get the new control chart. Okay, the new control chart with the historical value of mean and the standard deviation. So if let's say you compare with this one, okay, we have a different value for the control limit here. So you see L, you see this one is original from the, this one is a mean and historical standard deviation from the process data set. This one is from the historical data set. Okay, it's a differences. So you can go back to this one, X bar option. So you see the parameter here. If let's say you already have your historical data set. Okay, if let's say you have historical data set. Okay, so meaning to say that if let's say you want to something customized, you can go for the X bar option. You can go for the X bar option. So you see, are you able to see on the estimate, you have a limit, okay? Or you want to store storage, you want to store. But if let's say you click on the store, meaning the standard deviation in the worksheet. Okay, if let's say you store in the worksheet, not in this output pane, in the worksheet. Okay, So go back to this one, go to the R option, go to storage. So you want to store, you click on this one, click OK, and then you click OK. Okay, so you see this one is a min. Okay, it's a min and the standard deviation from this control chart. Okay, so you're not able to see storage in this output pin, but store in the worksheet. Okay, same scope for our, let's say you want to storage the center line or control line, okay, your subgroup or your test result. So you can store it, but in the worksheet here. Okay. Okay. So other thing is a trigger up here is something like you do something editing in your collecting data. Okay, you have a new data set coming or something, that's one. Okay, I just trigger out this here. Okay, change it this data set. So you see that this one is we have a trigger up here, automatically updating. You update the result or you want to create the new result. It depends on you. So if let's say you update, so they remain this, okay, you update, I click the update. So you click update only. Okay, so if let's say you have a new data set coming, or you have something like editing or in this worksheet, so this one, for example, is okay. So if let's say I click the create new result, so you have a create the new result. So they have the old one. This one is the original one. Okay. So this one is other features available in the control chart. Okay. If let's say you want to see something like you want to add line, okay, for specific limit or whatever, so right click, okay, add reference lines. Okay, maybe you want to show here is a 163. Okay, and then you click OK. Okay, so you see that this one is you can add the reference line here. So you have this one. Maybe you want to compare with the specification limit or so on. This one you can add the reference line on this one. Okay. Okay. We got another way. Already check this one. Okay, so already done it. For this one, you can update or you can create the real result. Okay, so we have another case study here for the attribute control chart. Okay, the engineer tests the 500 light bulb each hour. So after the 3-hour shift and record the number of bulbs that did not light. So we consider this as defective. So every time they take it 500. Okay, every time they take it 500. So I go to the data set. Okay, so every time, every hours, they take it 500. So meaning to say that they have a same subgroup size. Okay, same subgroup size. So every one, five defective from the 500. So this one is 8 defective from the 500. So meaning if you have option a P or NP. Okay, a P chart or NP chart. Okay, for this case, I use the NP chart. So for this start, go to control chart, you choose attribute chart. Okay, so I'll choose NP chart. Okay, I will go to start, go to control chart, choose attribute, you choose NP chart. For this case, it's a defective. Your subgroup is a 500. Okay, and then you click OK. If let's say you want to see on this test, you can go directly to perform. The default setting was we say that it's only test 1. Okay, but you see that it's only 4 tests available for the attribute control chart. Okay, so for this case, I just proceed with the default setting, click OK, and then click OK. Okay, so now you get your NP chart. So from this NP chart, you see that is a red color here. It's out of control limit. So what is the test 1? 1 point more than 3 standard deviation. The test is a fail, is a subgroup 16. Okay, so we consider that the process is out of control. The process is not stable. Okay, its process is not consistent. This one is, we have a one trigger out here. Okay, I will go to start, go to control chart, you choose attribute chart, you choose NP chart. So you include all this one and then you click OK. So you get the NP chart of defective. Okay. So another way, okay, we can create the control chart in the Minitab. You can using the assistant menu. Instead using the start menu, you're able to use the assistant menu. Okay, sorry, I put this one. Okay, you can open the assistant menu. So go for the assistant. Okay, you see the assistant. Assistant, you choose control chart. Okay, go to assistant, control chart. But not all the start menu available in assistant menu for now. Okay, maybe after this we add more on this assistant. So for the assistant, go for the assistant, control chart. Okay, this one is okay. So before you using the assistant menu, they have something like this one. Okay, the data type, what is the continuous? You click on this one. What is the continuous data? What is the attribute data? They give it you something guideline before you choose. Okay, before you choose which one. Okay, so what is the mean by subgroup? Okay, do not collect in subgroup. Data is collected in subgroup. So they give it you example of this one. So for this case, we have a subgroup size. We have a 5. Okay, so which is less 8. So this one is a X bar chart. So you choose X bar chart. Okay, so also the same. Okay, in one column. Okay, so we have mission 1, be constant. Okay, we have a 5. Okay, so this one is a control, how you determine the control limit and the center line. You want to estimate from the data, or you want to use the known value. So they give it you this option. So for this case, I just estimate from the data set. Okay, so and then you click OK. Okay, so now you get the X bar chart using the assistant. Okay, I will go to assistant. You choose control chart because this one is a continuous data set, and then your subgroup size is 5. So you choose the subgroup 1. So you include the mission 1, your subgroup, and then you choose estimate from the data, and then you click OK. So you get the assistant. In the report, in the assistant menu, they provide you information, something like summary report. Okay, stability report, and then you have a report card. Okay, so in the summary report, you're able to see is the process mean is stable. Okay, so this one is a no. Okay, they give it you what is no here, and then they have a comment here. So if let's say you want to customize all this one, you just double click on this one. Okay, you can customize this one. Okay, by Sulawati, for example, or you want to add something that one, click OK, and then you click OK. So they can directly, this one is the same thing. Okay, this one is something like stability report, is something like test. Okay, test, special test here. So they give it you the looking of the patterns inside this one. The global trend, we call it, this one is a cycle. Okay, shift, the drift, oscillation, mixture, and exit out of control. This one is a Python. Okay, if let's say you want to see more, so you can go for this one, and then you see that what is mean by the global trend. Okay, what is the mean by the global trend? So you see that this one is S bar. That's one is the control limit. So the subgroup size, the subgroup is a control is a subgroup 8. Okay, so you give it this one, and this one is a report card, something like is a something assumption or something, that one. Okay, so yeah, the amount of the data is a good one, 100. Okay, so this one is correlated data, is data correlated, and then it's with alternative chart. Okay, they give you something hint if let's say it's not good for this chart. Okay, so they give it you tips. This one is not the true one, but it's something like guide you. Okay, something like guide you. So this one is differences between using the assistant menu and then using the start menu. Okay, so this one is the assistant menu, and then this one is as start menu button. So we have a start menu, control chart, what control chart you want to build. Okay, so for assistant, go to assistant, control chart. Okay, so which one is control chart to you use? Okay, so this one is option. So no worries, let's say you want to right click, okay, right click, send towards or send to PowerPoint or send to our other product, or you can copy and paste it to this one. But for information, now for the Minitab 20, you're able to send to the report. You can create the report in this project file. Okay, for example, you want to send the report. Okay, so also this one, also you want to send the report one. Okay, you want to send the existing or you want to send a new report. If let's say send the existing, so click okay. So now you go for this one, you see this. Sorry. Okay, so you go for this. So in this report, actually you have a assistant. Okay, result from the assistant and then result from the start menu. Okay, so you can customize all this one. You can insert the explanation and so on before you send to the words or send to the PowerPoint. Okay, so this this one already done. Okay, see. Okay, and for the assistant already done. So in summary, stable and in control process is requisite for further analysis such as capability or predictive analysis. Okay, if your process is stable, you can predict the future performance and improve its capability. However, a process stable not necessarily mean it's a capable. Okay, so some of our customer trigger up this one after they looking for the capability. Okay, after they say that capability is not good one, and then they're looking back to the control chart. In theoretical, we go for the MSA, we go for the control chart, and then we go for the capability. But the actual part, we always see that we go for the capability first, and then looking back to the control chart and looking back to the MSA. So how to know about the quality on our process? Okay. So if let's say you have questions, so please type into the Q&A session or chat box. I will rise here. If let's say I not enough time, I will email to you after this. Okay. Okay, we have a question here. The default setting for the control limit is a 3 sigma. Okay, we can adjust. Yes, you can adjust the 3 or less than 3 sigma. So if let's say you want to adjust this thing, so you can go back to the control chart. Okay, start control chart. You can go subgroup S bar. You can go for the S bar option. Okay, so you have a limit here. Sorry, you can go for the storage estimate permit. The storage. Yes. Okay, for the test, actually, you can see this one. For the 3 sigma, actually, you can go for the option here. So, option, I'm not remember for this one, but it's available to do it. Okay, for this one. Okay, you need to go for the option here. File, the option. Okay, no worries. I will email to you after this how to run it. If let's say you want to choose for the 2 sigma or so on. Okay. And then if we have another question, can we club to set min and maximum into one control chart? I think this question is from the Ahmad. I think is something like you want to add the reference line, is it? So you can go for this one. Sorry. You can go for this control chart. You right click, add the green line. Okay, seems go for the to add another 2 sigma or 3 sigma and so on. Okay, but if let's say this one also, you can see that the step control chart, you go subgroup size, you can see that the zone here. Okay, the zone here. Okay, so the zone here. So you're able to see the option of the zone here. Also this one. I think if let's say the first time we do something like pre-control chart, which is green color, we have the yellow color, okay, 2 sigma, and okay, sorry, 3 sigma. We above the 3 sigma is something red color, something that one is a pre-control. So you can go for the control chart subgroup. So you can go for the zone. Okay, zone chart here. Okay, another, what is the K? K value. K is something like 1 sigma, 2 sigma, 3 sigma. Okay, something this one. Is it you refer this options or this one is a K is referring to the sigma. Okay, 1 sigma, 2 sigma. This test here is a K here. So K is mean to say that is a 3 sigma. So maybe you want to see on the 2 sigma or 1 sigma and so on. Okay, so K is here is a 9 point. So if you're looking for 8 point, so you can retype of the 8 point here. Okay, so this one is something like it's a standard one. Okay. If let's say what can capability analysis tell me about the process? Capable or not? Okay, this one is a capability is something like you compare your process with the specification limit. Specification limit means to say is from your customer side. Okay, but for this case, for control chart, you just compare with the your process itself only. You doesn't compare any standard or whatever. No, you just only play with your process data only without comparing with the specification limit. So if let's say you're looking for the specification limit, so you need to go for the capability analysis. Okay, so capable or not. So something like you say that CPCPK is highest, okay, more than 1.3, but your maybe your product is still have a defect. Okay, so it's something wrong with that one. So you need to go further. Maybe you're looking for the process itself first. Okay, so that's why this one is a crucial part before you go further. Okay, you need to have the process stable before you go for the capability or predictive analytics. Okay. So others question? Others question? If let's say you want this material, you can drop your email on this on the chat bar or Q&A box. If let's say you want to this one. Okay, if let's say no, so thank you. Join our webinar today. So if let's say you learn more about the Minitech product and training, you can contact us or you can visit our website www.bizit.com, or you can contact us at minitech@bizit.com. And then if let's say you to get some tips or trick on our product, okay, you can follow us through the media social like Facebook and link with the Minitech Malaysia and Singapore. And then if let's say you want to access back our previous webinar or upcoming, please don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel, Minitech Malaysia and Singapore. And I really appreciate if you fill up our survey in order to enhance our webinar session. So see you next time with different topic and stay safe. Thank you.